Hi, and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to do a review of the book Lucy by Jamaica Kincaid. It's been ages since I did a video or book review, and I feel like I've said that in the last few videos, but it genuinely has been ages. It just hasn't been a priority, but I'm back and I was really excited to review this book. I read this in February, I think at the start of February, and it's just probably one of my favourite reads of the year so far. I know it's not saying much since it's just the beginning of the year, but I have a feeling this is going to be like probably my top 10 books of the year. I really enjoyed reading this. I absolutely adored the main character of the story. It's only a short read, it's a novella. I think mine is 164 pages and the writing is big, so it's like a random page, like it's got big writing, so it's really quick read. But yeah, I really wanted to share it, and because I don't think it's read enough or read enough, I bought this book as part of my Caribbean literature haul, as one of my goals for the year is to read more books by Caribbean authors and try to somehow read my way around the Caribbean islands, Caribbean countries, and this was in the pile and I decided to start with this one, and I was kind of blown away by it, and I was surprised at how this book hasn't got that many reviews, and it's probably not the most highly rated book, but I just really enjoyed it. So Lucy is the story of a young woman who's 19 called Lucy, who travels from the West Indies to America as an au pair for a wealthy white family. So that kind of sounds like a very stereotypical plot, but this book is written almost like it's Lucy's diary. We get a really small snapshot of her life with this family and a little bit afterwards. I think it amounts to about 2 years of her life in the end, but most of it's just her time with the family. And in this short space of time we get so much insight into Lucy as a character, and her relationships to just everyone in the world. Her relationship to the world itself is really strange how in-depth and engaging this story is, that is so short and we're only getting Lucy's point of view. It literally does read like a diary, and her experiences with this family, the time she spends, will bring back memories for her from her childhood or a time in the West Indies, and she'll reflect on that too, and her relationships to people. And very quickly you realise that Lucy is a very sad person. Well, that's my interpretation of her. She's very angry and very sad and very bitter. This is basically one big character book. The plot is minimal. It's mainly just about her and her experiences. So this family has a wife called Maria, or Mariah. I don't know, it has a H, it's like Maria with a H. So, is that Mariah? I don't know. I'm gonna call her Maria. Maria, husband, whose name I can't remember, and 4 children. And it's 4 children that Lucy's to look after. And I thought this was going to be a stereotypical plot about a black woman, from the West Indies working with the white family, and the issues and their relationships and how difficult it is and blah blah blah, racism. But it actually isn't about that. It's actually, the family is actually really welcoming. They welcome Lucy in as one of their family. They try really hard with her. They're very kind. The kids adore her. And it's kind of weird because she's so guarded with them and has her walls up, and the wife in particular really wants to be close to Lucy, for Lucy to be happy, to make her feel at home, and Lucy is so rejecting of her. And at first I thought there was going to be some homosexual undertones, that something was going to happen between Lucy and Maria, but in the end it actually kind of turned into a weird maternal relationship. But there was still that almost I felt there was a kind of sexual tension undertone, but whatever. And that's all it is. It's just Lucy spends her year with the family, or year and a bit with the family, and then she moves out with a friend. But it's so simple, but it's not that simple, because Lucy is the most complex character I feel like I've ever read. And there's so many essays about her, what she represents, the deeper meaning of her personality. If you just look up Lucy by Jamaica Kincaid online, there's so much stuff, but it's just so meaningful. Lucy is someone that, to me, comes across as someone that's really highly traumatized. She seems to hold the sort of intergenerational trauma of being from the West Indies and slavery and all the racism that her ancestors will have experienced. She seems to hold that so close to herself, and she seems to wear that trauma very like, I don't know, close to the surface, I guess. It's some trauma that all people of colour, black people have, but it's very present for her. She has a lot of issues with her family relationships. Part of her reason why she moves to America is because she has had a huge rupture in a relationship with her mum when she was younger, and she just resents her. But I don't know, this is so much complicated. It's so complicated, her behaviour, why she's the way she is. She finds it really hard to love anyone. She can't open herself up to love. She will have several relationships with men or encounters with men, and she just doesn't connect fully. There's always something between her. She's so kind of cold-hearted, and there's something very feminist about her. In her, like, she likes her body hair. She likes to be taller than men. She's very strong in that kind of way, but there's also something very lonely, lonely is the word, about her, and guarded. An example I can think of is that Maria takes her to a beautiful like garden, like path, foresty path that's loads of flowers, and I think they're tulips. I can't remember what the flowers are, because Maria thinks it's beautiful, and when Lucy goes, Lucy hates it, because it reminds her of like a poem she had to read out at school, but she felt like oppressed by it. She felt forced to do it. It was like celebrating white men or something, and she just felt awful by it. I can't remember the exact details, I'm not explaining very well, but so this memory is something that Maria was trying to do out of her kindness of her heart. For Lucy, she just couldn't accept it because it reminded her of something that held negative memories for her. And the ending of this really short snapshot of a part of Lucy's life in this novella, the ending like cut me up. It was weirdly sad. It's like by the end, I'm not going to any spoilers, but she like really feels her emotions for so much of this book. She's so detached from her feelings, and by the end she just boom, feelings, and it's just insane. It's really well done. I could read this and reread this and just reread it again and just figure out more and more about Lucy's personality and her way of being and why she's the way she is. It's just super interesting. So I just think you should read it. And I wish it had more hype. I really just felt completely really enticed by Lucy herself as a character. Just, yeah, she's super complicated. I don't think characters are written as complicated as she is very often, and as realistic as she is. She's so unlikable. It makes me love her. I really love her, and yeah, it's really strange. I haven't read something like this before that's really got me, and like made me feel like I just want more. The only flaw with this book is that it's not longer. There's not more of it, but that's also part of it, I guess. But I want more. So I think you should read it. I just wanted to make a quick video talking about it. So yeah, give this a read. I don't have anything else to add. So happy reading, and I'll see you around.